Life number 1. My mother chased some alley cat purring like a little slut. She abandoned me in a parking lot. I walked around mewing like the little idiot I was. A Humvee rolled in and over me. That's when I learned what I looked like inside out. Ghost. In the old lady's living room, I pawed at the little plastic ball filled with my catnip. The nip inside had dried into crisp, shriveled brown leaves. Probably not even a split second of a high in there. I swatted at the ball again, and it rolled a few inches. The leather couch was covered in scratches. It's not my fault the old lady never got me a scratching post. I had needs.
Oh, Roger's trying to play with his ball. Poor Roger, go to heaven already.
The old lady picked up the ball and put it on the top shelf. No, give that back, I said.
She can't hear you, moron. You're dead,
said Bird from his perch on top of the lampshade. He shook his plumage and squawked. His head was lined up wrong, like the hand of a clock pointed 7 instead of to 12. Bird looked delicious. You're dead too, I said. The old lady started cleaning out the refrigerator, throwing away rotten leftovers. She shoved a whole chicken carcass into the trash can.
Lovebirds never truly die. We just wait to be reunited with the other half,
Bird said. I know where you can find her, I said. In here. I put a paw on my belly.
I hate you,
Bird said. The old lady went into her bedroom, probably for a nap. Dog, who was still living, knocked over the trash can and began scrummaging through its contents. Don't do it. You just can't help yourself, can you? I said to Dog, his ears perked up, and he looked around momentarily before continuing his forage. He chomped on a chicken leg, splintering the bones into dozens of pieces. Life number 5. I thought I was tough shit. Pieces of my ear got torn off in multiple fights to establish my dominance. I reigned over the whole universe, a vast space stretching from 4th Street to 6th Avenue. That's when the dogs came. The biggest had me in its jaws, shaking me from side to side. A calm washed over me. So this is how the birds felt. Ghost. What happened? Dog asked. I liked him better when he couldn't talk to me. You choked on chicken bones, I said. I told you not to do it. I couldn't hear you, Dog said.
Now you're both dead,
Bird said. I'm not really dead. I still have lives left, I said.
Then why aren't you alive?
Bird said. Paperwork issue? Cat heaven bureaucracy? They'll get around to me eventually.
Whatever,
Bird said. Once I figure out how to climb, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna eat you all over again. I can get up there! Dog jumped and paddled through the air. He swam up to the lampshade and circled it. No, that's impossible. How can you do that?
He's a ghost. Ghosts can fly, Bird said.
Watch me, Cat! But why can't I? I leaped into the air, no flight, just falling. It must be because I still have lives left. If Dog can fly, then it's time to get out of here and find some more catnip. Life number 8. I admit it. I've played with my food. Sometimes I catch a little mouse in my paws and keep it there, alive, for hours, letting it escape and think it had a chance to live, only to pounce on it again. Am I psychotic? I don't think so. Sure, I've left some of my victims for the old lady. She explained them away as presents. They weren't. They were threats. Anyway, some humans are more like cats. Once on a rooftop, a boy had me cornered at the edge. He laughed, holding a pair of scissors. Last time, he lured me with catnip. I wouldn't fall for it this time. I backed up and stood on the ledge. "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty," he said. I meowed and hissed. "Bast, curse you! I will have her cut out your eyes!" He moved closer, a smile on his face. I jumped off the roof several stories up. You know how they say cats always land on all fours? That time, I didn't. Ghost. "Let's go," I said, strutting to the pet store. "This is it." Dog walked through the glass door, but I waited until a human opened it before I scooted in. "Let's be quiet. We don't want to spook these idiots." Cages and aquariums lined the walls. Most of the animals waited for their next masters in silent sedation. "Okay," Dog barked. The living animals growled, yipped, chirped, and made every other noise they were capable of. I hissed at Dog. "Quick, to the back!" The door to the office in the storage area was open a smidge. I went in there to search for a catnip toy. I found a pile of them. Oh, sweet bliss. "Hey, cat, look!" Dog said. Buzzed, I hardly cared, but I still managed to look over. A ghost human, a girl, you might say, sat at a computer, just sitting there. She was not at kitten stage anymore, but not fully grown either. It's only a few months in a cat's life, but it seems to last forever in humans. The human god must be cruel. Dog sat in her lap, and she petted him with a smile. I stumbled over and rubbed against her leg, purring. Hey, I was in a good mood for once. "How'd you die, human kitten?" I asked her. "Got sick," she said. She kept patting Dog and never looked up. I died from an illness once. I felt bad for her. "Sorry to hear that," I said. Then a loud chirp. I looked up to see another lovebird. Bird 2. "Oh, Bird 2, what are you doing here?" "What do you care, monster?" she asked. After a moment, she couldn't keep it to herself anymore. "I'm waiting for my love." "Oh, he's back with the old lady." "That idiot! I told him to meet me here after we died. How could he forget something like that?" I shrugged. "Males?" "Males!" said Dog. Girl shrugged. "Boys." "Well, thanks for telling me." Bird 2 flew away. "Sorry for eating you," I said. I wasn't, really. I opened up the rest of the catnip toys and had a wonderful time, but that stuff wears off quickly. "Hey, human, know where I can get more nip?" I asked. "Sure, there's a warehouse just outside town," she said. "How do you know that?" I didn't want to waste my time with a wild nip chase. "This is my mom's store." She gestures towards some pictures. In one, the girl posed with a woman. In another, she was lying in a bed without any hair. I peeked into the front room. The same woman stood behind the cash register, her face drooping with a frown. I thought about Girl. Such a shame for her to die before the prime of her life. No kittens of her own. I had kittens once. I rubbed against the girl's leg again and purred, "Say, take us to the warehouse, eh?" "Sure," she said. "Why not?" It took a while to get there, but there was one perk to unlife. Time didn't matter. The warehouse had a single door with nobody coming in or out. No open windows. It had a large white garage door for trucks to load and unload. Dog floated into the warehouse and told me, "There's a big box of nip!" "Thanks, Dog." I had to get in. A delivery truck pulled up and a man got out but left the engine running. "Thank you, Bast, for this battering ram." Girl moved the gear shift from park in a drive. Dog sat below on the brake. I held the wheel. This would work. "Ready?" I asked. "How do you know how to drive?" Girl asked. "Old lady likes TV," I said. "Ready!" Dog said. "Now!" I said. Dog hopped onto the gas pedal. I swerved the wheel and turned towards the garage door. We crashed through, spending the door and boxes everywhere. One of the crates contained bags and bags of catnip. I almost dove right in, but somehow I managed to control myself. I had to do this right. It might be my only opportunity to have this much nip in one sitting. "All right, girl, open all those bags and pour it into the crate. Let me know when you're done." "Okay," Girl said. I was glad to have a new slave. "Are you sure you can't overdose on this?" Girl asked. "I'm willing to find out." I climbed up some nearby crates and looked down into the beautiful green mound of nip, and then I jumped. Something you need to know about nip. It works just by smelling it. As I neared the catnip, time slowed to a halt. I froze in midair while Girl and Dog just stared at me, unmoving. Oh, I was higher than I'd ever been. I couldn't feel my paws anymore, but knew they'd quintupled inside. I wasn't a cat. I was a lion, king of all animals. My prey offered me their young, but I demanded a chase. I hunted them through tall grasses and forests, my paws moving silently through dry, crunchy leaves. I pounced on them in the snow and laughed, their flesh staining the wintry landscape crimson. I feasted on 1,000 animals before I met Bast herself. She stood before me on the plains, a giant black panther with a pelt of fire. The sun set behind her in a glorious explosion. "I'm dead, aren't I? I overdosed," I said. "You can't overdose on catnip," Bass said. She licked her whiskers as if preparing for a meal. "I'm here about that 9th life of yours." "Yes?" "I've decided to grant it to you, even though you didn't land on your feet that one time." "That's good. Great," I said. But I looked around. I looked at my thousands of prey. I looked at my own huge paws. I felt myself roar instead of meow. "Is this heaven?" "For cats, yes," Bast said. I thought about Girl and her mother. I thought about how much life she had left to live and how many lives I'd already had. Suppose that I could transfer a life. Could you give my life to the human girl I was with? "Yes," said Bast. "I can do that." "Dog too?" Sure, what is a dog's life compared to a cat? Good point. I agree. Can I just go back and say goodbye? Life number 9. Cat! Dog said. Again, this is probably the worst voice to wake up to. I lay outside the crate. I just got so high that I saw a god. Cat, you're alive! Dog said. I looked at my paws. Instead of ethereal black and white, my fur had returned to its normal shades. The color began to drain out of me slowly while Dog and Girl solidified. Cat? You've got a second chance, Dog. Don't waste it on another dumpster dive. Girl looked at her hands in awe. How? Don't thank me yet. You've got life problems now, I said. The delivery truck driver walked into the warehouse, pointed at the girl. Yo, what the hell happened? I laughed and then began floating into the air, higher and higher. Bye, cat! So long, dog. Afterlife. Now I spend my time in tree branches, stalking birds. I chase down water buffalo with my pride. My kittens surround me and tug at my ears, then leave me alone when it's time to nap. Oh, and there's catnip. Never-ending fields of catnip.